Hey tankers, and welcome back to World of Tanks with PR154, where every week we're showcasing ordinary tankers doing extraordinary things on our Twitch stream. Now, what follows is a cut of one of those live reviews, where we've had the responsible party on station to talk through what was going through their mind and down their barrel in the course of their game. Now, if that's your jam and you'd like to submit a replay for consideration, then please drop it on the submission platform via the Discord server link in the description below. In the meantime, happy tanking, and please enjoy this video. Alright, so an all tier 10s game, STB-1, and we are on Tundra.
Yes, we are. I can say that my two platoon mates have an interesting game, to say the least.
Okay, so you're joined by other lads of the 40 win rate clan, Quickie Fingers, Swanky Sweener. See them in the chat there. Thank you so much for your support today too, lads.
And this is one of my first few. I'm still getting used to this machine, to say the least. It's quite enjoyable, I found out, and it now holds my new highest damage record vehicle. So,
right. Oh, bit of a crippling start there. We've lost
I got punished. I got punished climbing that hill, but that bat chat just bounced off me, and I'm like, let's just charge him with my two platoon mates.
Yeah. Surely it's got to be just about out of shells. Yes, it is.
Yes, he is running. He ran. VZ got the kill on him.
Yeah.
And I've lost quite a lot of health because of it.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I think you've given almost as good as you've received.
Oh, the exchange rate there. The exchange rate's there.
Yeah. And you've
I'm
got
just
the
trying
hill.
to get a bead on. Yes, and I'm now just trying to get a bead on those two tank destroyers there, and alas, no shots.
Yeah. Still, a sensible play to start with. I mean, it's one of the most important positions on this map. You're in a vehicle which has tremendous hull down capacity.
Yeah.
So this is where you want to be.
Yes, and the only problem is that I will soon find and get punished for is artillery.
Ah. Artillery's never ruined a game for someone.
Well, it makes. Well, we'll find out later.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it sort of gets really quiet right about here. Here is where I just try and get a poke, trying to get a shot at the CAX.
Yes.
Trying to use the hydropneumatic suspension, try and get a bead on that CAX, and don't end up getting the shots. And
it takes a bit of getting used to, but it's nice when it works.
Yeah. I've already got the UDES.
Oh!
And there's the artillery. Yes, very nearly ended everything for me.
Oh.
So this is where things get dicey for the rest of the game. That hit from artillery was unfortunate, to say the least. So, at this point, myself and Swanky decide to just bail off the hill, and well, that happens.
Oh, Swanky.
That's unfortunate skill issues. He was having some skill issues there.
You poor bastard. Feels bad, man.
But yeah, unfortunately, he failed driving off the hill going that way.
Yeah. There's some tanks I've flipped so many times doing stuff like that, and like once is bad enough. When it happens multiple times in a particular tank.
Speaking of flipping vehicles, a recent stream that I had, I was with some platoon mates, and one of them managed to flip a TOG.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Yes, certainly a spectacle, to say the least. But yeah, I'm now just trying to get into the...
Given a throw to occasionally, so do swing by and support his stream there for more action of people flipping vehicles.
I can say that I've certainly flipped my fair share, with artillery included.
Alright. So we're back on top of the hill.
Yes.
We weren't exactly feeling the love, sort of pulling back
No.
anywhere else.
There are plays that at this point in the game, it's just quiet. I'm just trying to get lines of fire on vehicles and that sort of stuff, but nothing's really too happening.
Yeah, it's certainly, you just don't have the hit point pool to be making plays or taking risks.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the artillery hitting me for as much as they did, I might have been fine to make a more slightly risque play.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm now just trying to make sure I can get a bead on that Leopard 1 if he goes to cross.
Alright,
But
so...
yes, with positioning, it does get quiet here. I think at some stage I may or may not dismount from the hill. Again.
Well, you're also in the situation, I guess, that like your armor doesn't count for anything anymore because it's just with 5 hit points left. It's just so easy for someone to adapt.
All they have to do is just sneeze. They just have to sneeze on me, and I'll just crumple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't even need to sneeze. It's a high explosive shell. It just will practically negate your armor, even for the small amount of damage that is likely to be dealt. So the enemy team's getting bold. They've pulled their numbers together. They're now pushing the hill. You're just trying to take a more foliated position to engage them, I assume?
Yes. I'm trying to work that middle rock there while it's the 2 teammates that are there. Just distract them as best they can.
Well, there's the shit
I do manage to get some shots into the Hesh barn. Sitting up here, I do get a pretty decent farm.
Yes. Oh.
And I was very lucky not to die there.
Any incoming shot that you walk away from is a miracle at this point, isn't it?
Yes, most certainly is. And when I spotted that STB, I just immediately... going off there, I've done it many times before on much less health.
How do you get much less health than 5 hit points?
1 HP. Where if I slightly hit the wrong spot and I'll just die.
Yeah. Oh, it always makes me very nervous trying to traverse difficult terrain like that with a low hit point position.
Wheeled vehicles, I've killed myself many times.
Yeah.
Doing something like similar.
Oh yeah, well that's part of your user license agreement. You have to roll and crash wheeled vehicles. It's like a rule. Alright, so the enemy has now retaken control of the hill.
Yeah. But at this point where, with positioning wise that my team actually have, I felt it reasonable enough to actually give up the hill. Because it was also a safer choice for self-preservation.
Well, a lot of those enemy vehicles are also looking at a fairly vulnerable hit point position. I like this sneaky little move though. Like you're working on the assumption that they're all guarding bushes on the northern side of the hill, so you're sort of slipping away on the lee side where they won't be able to see you make that move. That's nice.
That was precisely the point. And unfortunately, the 60 TP does knock out the CACs. But the position I find myself in is a really useful one because I spot the artillery and then I wait for that Progetto.
Yeah. So so it looks like 60 TP was expecting you, but because they were positioned to expect you, Progetto 65's been able to...
Came in from behind and got the kill.
Yeah.
Now, that artillery piece was expecting the prog, but not me. So he aims to hit the prog, but obviously it was just artillery doing artillery things and playing like a bot.
Look, to me it looked like they were trying to go for the halfway point. They weren't quite sure who was going to who was going to come in though, but unfortunately you still have an artillery's rate of turn, so it's not going to win you that engagement, unless they know something I don't.
At this point, it's a 2v1, but however, the Gorilla 15 is still quite healthy. Myself and the Progetto cannot take a hit from the Cax, whilst the Heshbon can.
Yes. Although not too many.
Yes, it can take a hit, but if I sit with the FV and I just send into chat for the FV to go cap, purely for the fact that we're in positions that the Progetto's got the base covered, I've got the FV covered.
Yes.
And we could easily salvage this win.
I mean, even though it's got practically a 0% concealment rating, it can still start capping, hide behind.
And there's also really, really good cover on the cap as well.
Yes.
Plus, the FV can, again, take a hit, unlike myself. So yeah, I'm just positioning myself in a way that I have a flanking shot for if anything comes around the back. Using the bushes here, trying to get eyes up on that hill, whilst that Progetto does its thing up north.
Yeah, it's going to be... I mean, it's going to be as much about taking the shot as it is getting the spot.
And here's where I'm like, we need to win this.
Yeah.
And I just jump on cap too. Yeah. I get spotted going in. It's a risk worth to take.
Yeah, so they know you're both there. As far as they're concerned,
they know there are two of us here.
Yeah, Progetto 65 for all intents and purposes still unaccounted for.
And we now know that the Cax is up on the hill still, and the Progetto just got him.
Yeah.
Now it's just us and the grill, and that grill's now caught in a crossfire.
Yeah.
And the Heshbon finishes him off.
Yeah, just that hesitation made by the grill after it got hit by the Progetto 65 was enough to prompt the grill, the FV to go out and land that killing shot.
Yes.
So very much a case of teamwork making the dream work. Let's have a look at the result. You've had a pretty crucial contribution to that battle, particularly early on.
At the end there.
So it's a level 3 mastery. I think that's grossly understated the contribution there.
Yeah, when I got that third class, I'm like, okay, for what I did was worth it, but...
Right, so let's have a look to the team score. So it was, wow, okay, you're FV4W5 stage 2, the star of the show here. Over 6,300 hit points of damage inflicted and 5 kills to show for it.
Yeah, that FV was one of the ones that basically helped us win the game there.
Progetto 65, that was quite instrumental in your final moves there. So picking up 4 kills,
certainly was
over 3,100 hit points of damage, so a well-deserved second placement on experience.
My damage output was a bit on the lower side. I did make up for it with helping us win the game.
Yeah.
And I feel winning the game is more of a contribution than getting it out.
There's definitely a lot of unknown quantities to what it takes to win a game that are not necessarily captured within the experience points metric, and that might be just the pressure of taking a certain position to hamper the enemy's decisions. It might be sort of setting off a game-winning push. These are things that
for sure.
So looking to the economics of this battle, you must have been running food, large repairs, small repairs. So looks like you've had to physically pay for them.
And I didn't fire any heat rounds, so that was probably the best part about it all.
Yeah, that was helpful. Probably just as well we had a holiday ops missions going. Looks like you would have had a credit booster running at the time, so that would have taken the sting out. It would have been a 50,000.
Yeah, and I'm very glad that I am running a premium account.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly a lot of people are once they get to tier 7 and above. It's long enough to get you hooked on the game, but then you sort of reach a point that, well, that's going to be the most practical way for a lot of people to progress if they can put the dollar dues forward. All right, thanks so much for swinging by the channel and running us through this game.
No worries, and thank you for having me.
No worries.